Nature is often described as beautiful. Peaceful forests, crystal oceans, colorful animals living in harmony. At least, that's what documentaries like to show. But the reality is often very different. For many creatures, life is not peaceful at all. Some are born into cages they can never escape. Some spend their entire existence trying not to starve. Some lose their bodies just to reproduce. And some are betrayed before they even hatch. Nature can be cruel. And today we're going to meet animals whose lives are basically a nightmare. These are animals with the worst lives on Earth. Fig wasp. Let's start with one of the strangest life cycles in the entire animal kingdom. The fig wasp. This insect is tiny, barely the size of a grain of sand. But its life story is absolutely bizarre. Everything begins when a female fig wasp finds a fig fruit. But figs are not actually fruits in the way we usually think. A fig is more like a sealed flower chamber. Inside it are hundreds of tiny flowers, and the fig has only one entrance, a microscopic tunnel called the ostiole. To enter this tunnel, the female wasp must squeeze her entire body through it. The opening is so tight that she loses her wings. Her antennae break. Parts of her body tear apart. By the time she gets inside the fig, she is permanently trapped. She will never leave again. Inside the fig, she lays her eggs inside the flowers. Then something strange happens. The fig produces chemicals that slowly dissolve the wasp's body. Her corpse becomes part of the fig itself. Yes, every fig technically contains a digested wasp. But the story doesn't end there. The eggs hatch, and the babies begin their strange lives inside the fig. Male wasps hatch first, but male fig wasps are incredibly unlucky. They are born blind. They have no wings. They cannot fly, and they cannot leave the fig. Their entire existence has only one purpose: to mate with the females that are still inside their flower chambers. Once they find them, they mate inside the fig. Then the males do one final task. They chew an escape tunnel through the fruit wall, a tunnel that will allow the females to escape. And then the males die. They never see the outside world. The females collect pollen from the fig. They crawl through the tunnel, and they fly away to find another fig, where the cycle begins again. Birth, sacrifice, death, all hidden inside a fruit we casually eat. Koala. Koalas look like adorable teddy bears. Soft fur, big fluffy ears, calm sleepy faces. But their lifestyle is surprisingly miserable. First of all, koalas survive almost entirely on eucalyptus leaves. And eucalyptus leaves are terrible food. They are toxic. They contain very little nutrition, and they're extremely hard to digest. To deal with this, koalas evolved an enormous digestive system. Their intestines contain special bacteria that help break down the toxins. But the process is very slow. Very slow. So slow that koalas must conserve energy constantly. That is why they sleep 18 to 22 hours a day. Not because they are lazy, because they literally cannot afford to stay awake. Even chewing eucalyptus leaves requires a lot of effort. And here comes another problem. Their teeth slowly wear down. Unlike rodents, koala teeth do not grow back. Once their teeth are worn out, they cannot chew food anymore, and they slowly starve to death. But the weirdness continues when baby koalas are born. Baby koalas are extremely underdeveloped. They must crawl into the mother's pouch to continue growing. And when it is time to start eating eucalyptus leaves, their digestive system is not ready yet. So the mother produces something called pap. Pap is a special type of partially digested feces. The baby eats this material to obtain the bacteria needed to digest eucalyptus. Yes, baby koalas must eat poop to survive. Nature is strange, and unfortunately for koalas, their problems don't stop there. They're extremely vulnerable to disease. In some populations, more than half of all koalas suffer from chlamydia infections, which can cause blindness, infertility, and painful inflammation. So despite looking peaceful and cute, koalas live a surprisingly difficult life. Male anglerfish. Now let's go to the deep sea, a place where sunlight never reaches, where the pressure is enormous, and where food is incredibly rare. Here lives one of the strangest couples in the animal kingdom, the anglerfish. The female anglerfish is famous. She has a glowing lure on her head that attracts prey. But the male anglerfish is something completely different. Male anglerfish are tiny, sometimes 10 times smaller than females. Their only mission in life is simple: find a female. But this task is incredibly difficult. The deep sea is vast and dark. Finding a partner is almost impossible. But if a male finally locates a female, he bites her body, and then something unbelievable begins. Instead of letting go, his body starts to fuse with hers. Their skin merges. Their blood vessels connect. Over time, the male loses his eyes. He loses his digestive system. His fins disappear. Eventually, the male becomes nothing more than a small lump attached to the female, a living organ, a permanent sperme produit. Some females carry several males attached to their body at the same time. So the male spends his life searching for a mate. And when he finally finds one, he loses his body forever. Sloths might look like they have the perfect life. They sleep all day. They move slowly. They hang in trees. But their slow lifestyle is actually survival. Sloths have one of the slowest metabolisms among mammals. Their bodies produce very little energy. Moving quickly could literally kill them. So they evolved to move slowly, very slowly. Their digestion is also extremely slow. Food can remain inside their stomach for weeks, sometimes even a month, which means they cannot eat very often. And their biggest problem happens once a week: bathroom time. Unlike most tree animals, sloths climb down to the ground to poop, which is extremely dangerous. On the ground, they are slow, very slow, and predators know it. Jaguars, ocelots, and large birds of prey often attack sloths during this moment. Scientists are still debating why sloths take this risk. One theory suggests that it helps fertilize the tree they live in. Another theory suggests that it maintains the strange ecosystem inside their fur. Because sloths are not alone. Their fur contains algae, insects, and even moths that live their entire lives there. It's basically a tiny forest ecosystem growing on the sloth's body. But every week the sloth must climb down. And every week, it risks its life. Cuckoo bird. Most birds carefully build nests. They protect their eggs. They raise their chicks. But cuckoo birds found a different strategy. They let someone else do the work. Female cuckoos secretly lay their eggs in other birds' nests. This behavior is called brood parasitism. The cuckoo watches carefully. When the host bird leaves its nest for a moment, the cuckoo quickly drops an egg inside. Sometimes she even removes one of the host's eggs to avoid suspicion. Then she disappears forever. When the cuckoo chick hatches, it immediately begins pushing the other eggs out of the nest. Even though it is blind, even though it is only hours old, instinct tells it exactly what to do. One by one, the host bird's eggs fall out of the nest. Now the foster parents unknowingly raise the cuckoo chick, and the cuckoo grows very fast, often becoming much larger than the birds feeding it. The poor parents spend weeks bringing food to a chick that isn't even theirs, while their real babies are gone forever. Nature is ruthless. Immortal jellyfish. Finally, we arrive at one of the most fascinating creatures in the ocean, the immortal jellyfish. Its scientific name is Turritopsis dohrnii, and it might be the only animal capable of biological immortality. Most animals follow the same life cycle. They are born, they grow, they reproduce, and eventually they die. But the immortal jellyfish has a special ability. When it becomes stressed, injured, or old, it can reverse its life cycle. Its cells transform, its body shrinks, and it returns to its juvenile form, basically becoming young again. This process is called transdifferentiation. In theory, the jellyfish could repeat this cycle forever, living again and again. But there is a problem. The ocean is full of predators. Fish eat them. Turtles eat them. Even other jellyfish eat them. So despite having the power of immortality, most immortal jellyfish still die. Nature gave them the ability to live forever, but also placed them in a world where survival is never guaranteed. Ultra. Nature can be beautiful, but it can also be brutal. The fig wasp sacrifices its life inside a fruit. The koala survives on poisonous leaves. The anglerfish loses his body for reproduction. The sloth risks death every time it goes to the bathroom. The cuckoo tricks other birds into raising its babies. And the immortal jellyfish might live forever if something doesn't eat it first. Life in the wild is not always peaceful. Sometimes it's a constant fight just to survive. And honestly, after hearing these stories, our lives don't seem so bad.